This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1932, My Highest Self Morning Routine by Brianna Harry of YeMash.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, OLD or Old, the show where I read to you from the best articles I can find with their permission, all to help you live a more meaningful life covering personal development or self-help, minimalism, inspiration, motivation, and a lot more. So with that, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. My Highest Self Morning Routine by Brianna Harry of YeMash.com. I put a lot of weight on my routines, especially my morning routine. After all this time, I think I've finally cracked the code. I know exactly what time I need to wake up and exactly what I need to do upon waking to make my day the best it can possibly be. I've started referring to this as my highest self morning routine because this is the formula to reaching and being my absolute highest self. There's so many variations of a proper morning routine, and trust me, I've nearly tried them all. Of all the variations, I've found my formula to be the most effective when it includes a 5 a.m. wake up, meditation, and exercise. Everything after that is usually smooth sailing. I like to be organized and tackle my tasks from daily lists, and they don't tend to take all day as long as that day is started right. I even tend to follow this routine this early on weekends because that's the best way for me to keep a habit that I actually want in place. So with this code cracked, even the lighter versions that I was doing before it got this intricate, I started to rely heavily on it. I literally refer to it as the path to my highest self. I can see now how that's a lot of pressure on myself to stick to the routine. However, until this past week, I was finding myself very rigid and serious about these rules. Even before I had my routine laid out to what it is now, I can think back 2 years or so and remember saying to my therapist how important it is for my mental health to have a regular and sturdy morning routine. That's the truth, but there's something to think about here. That pressure and what it means to me to be my highest self. When I've described my highest self, it featured joy and energy. It had to do with feeling calm and at ease. It described a person who was much less impulsive than I can sometimes be. It's a person who is more empathetic, a person who minds my business, all the characteristics that I look at and love. It's my favorite version of me. But what is this saying to me about my other versions? There are versions of me who experience sadness no matter how well I woke up that morning. There's a version of me who feels and is learning to express very valid anger. Is this me sinking beneath my highest self? I'm starting to not like that thought. It's starting to sound like I'm ashamed of myself in my human moments. And I'm not. So something had to shift. Luckily for me, when a shift is needed, something usually happens to push it along. It came to me through my 29th birthday celebration last week. I got together with my quarantine team. We got way more food than was needed and even more alcohol. We ate and we drank and we drank and we ate. My goodness, it was glorious. And I deserve it. I felt loved and light and free, and I really did enjoy myself. Needless to say, with that happening on Sunday, my Monday did not start with an energized 5 a.m. wake up, meditation, workout, and all the fixings. Oh no. In fact, I was pretty off of my typical routine and schedule for the entire week. I guess this is what late 20s feel like. I can no longer hang, and recovery after a night like that takes absolutely forever. I did what I could here and there. I didn't work out daily like I usually do, but I did work out 3 times. I'll take that. I didn't follow my strict productivity schedule, but by the end of the week, I still had everything done. What stood out most, though, was the way that I felt. A past me would have dug a hole for myself filled with mean comments and disappointment. I would have made myself feel so bad for drinking as much as I did for my birthday and letting that knock my week completely off track. My observation of being off of my routine would have literally made me depressed, and I would have blamed my depression on my failure to stick to my routine. This time around, I got to notice how naturally it came to me to give myself grace and be extremely easy on myself. It was remarkable. It was my highest self. The very act of just being present each day I woke up to know that I didn't have my full routine in me was pivotal. I still felt joy as I got the rest I needed to restore my energy. I felt calm and at ease, knowing that I would get back to it when it felt right. I showed myself empathy and love. It showed me that highest self that I'm always chasing is just who I am. I could hear a past version of me telling my therapist how I'm nothing without my routine. And I'm so happy this past week has shown me just how untrue that is. My routine is nothing without me. Quite literally, if I don't do it, it doesn't exist, but I'm always me with or without it. I'm happy that I know what I need to feel my best, but that doesn't mean I have to feel my worst if I fall off course. What a high vibrational thought. I'm so proud of me. You just listened to the post titled, My Highest Self Morning Routine by Brianna Harry of YeMash.com. Thank you to Briana. This one reminded me of something I mentioned a little while back about being careful not to feel like you're punishing yourself if you don't stick to a particular habit. Because the truth is, it's virtually impossible to stick to something every single day, no matter what. I mean, maybe you can brush your teeth every single day, no matter what, but some things that are a bit more complex or require more willpower or take longer, it's okay to miss a day once in a while, as long as it's done consciously and not relaxed for too long, because then the habit is broken and starting from what feels like scratch can be rough. Though that said, it never really is starting completely from scratch, even if you fall off the wagon, but it gets progressively harder the longer we procrastinate. Tomorrow I'll read one for you about committing to habits a bit deeper, so stay tuned for that. And I wanted to mention Briana started her own podcast. It's called Your Morning Message, and it's your daily dose of positive intention setting every weekday. For less than 5 minutes per episode, be left with messages and themes that set you up each day to be better than you were the day before. So check that out. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.